I tried to post this to our /confession, but they removed it. I wanted to get this out somehow and get some feedback, good or bad, so I'm posting here. Thanks for reading. It's quite long. TLDR. I had a son when his mom and I were 15. I started using 4-heroin with my dad at 16. Destroyed my entire life, and in turn lost all contact with my son's mother and my son when he was 6. When he was 10, he started to show really problematic, almost psychopathic behavior. By the age of 13, his mom had to relinquish custody of him because she didn't have the resources to help him. And he had also been beating her, as well as destroying their things on a regular basis, punching his counselors in the face, both male and female, running away constantly, and then when CPS took him, he made really extreme, life-ruining allegations against his mother. These allegations were investigated multiple times, thoroughly by CPS, the police department, and people in her personal life. They were all disproven blatantly, like zero doubt in anyone's mind that these things just did not occur. When CPS took custody, they contacted me and broke the situation down to me. They asked me if I wanted to be involved in his life again, and being 6 years sober and counting, my answer was a resounding yes. Things were amazing at first, until we had a 2-day overnight pass. During this pass, my son kicked my cat across the room, and then laughed about it like he got enjoyment from it. Took control of my elderly mother's electric cart and ran her into a crowd of people, some of whom were small children, because she took a picture of him, and laughed with enjoyment at that too. He also has exhibited a moderate obsession with my wife, to the point of trying to hold her hand and kiss her on the cheek, getting in her personal space consistently, only talking to her and not others. But the most telling is that when she wasn't around, he couldn't focus on anything else and asked me literally, and I timed it, every 5 minutes, "Where's wife? When is she coming back?" He was supposed to come live with me after he got out of treatment, which is in a month, but these behaviors have me really concerned for the safety of my household. Because I'm scared that they're going to get much worse when this is his home, if that's how he acts when it's not. I don't feel like I can take him like this, because he shows no desire to change whatsoever, or even look at another perspective. I want to take him. I want to be in his life. I love him. But I'm scared of him and the whole situation. And it's tearing me apart. I know that this is essentially what I deserve for being a deadbeat drug addict, but my wife is innocent in this. My animals are innocent in all of this, and I'm finding myself having to basically choose between them and him, and it's really crushing me. So I'm just really torn up about this whole situation and wasn't sure what else to do. I saw another post of someone who had a less than desirable relationship with their kid and thought I'd get some stuff off my chest. From the people that do actually read this, I expect all kinds of hate mail, but here goes LOL. My son was born when both his mom and I were 15. It was hard, but I loved it and I loved him dearly. At around 16, I started to get into 4-heroin. I was always a partier, but things really took off about a year after my son was born. By the time I was 19, I had literally nothing left. His mom had long since broke up with me for good reason. My friends couldn't handle seeing me destroy myself anymore, and my family was probably on their 3rd time of having to distance themselves from me because of how out of control I was. Except for my dad, who had been doing drugs with me since I was 14 and introduced me to a needle at 16. We were squatting in a half-burnt-down house. He went to prison and I went to rehab when I was 19. Fast forward to about 22. My son's mom was in a long-term relationship with an awesome fucking dude. I really loved and respected that guy. However, when I got back from rehab and got together with my now wife, I started using again. So from 20 to 22, I was on heroin. So he didn't love or respect me very much at all. I'm surprised he tolerated me at all, honestly, lol. As an aside, just so it's clear, I never used drugs while with, or in the house where my son was. Ever. I would go dope sick many times before that ever happened. That's not why he hated me. Not that it's any better. But anyways, my addiction isn't the point, just the backstory to this. About 6 months after I got clean for the last time, going 6 years strong now, my son's stepdad blocked my number on my son's mom's phone. He also convinced her that for her own good, she should stay away from me. She says, though, that she didn't know my number was blocked, so she assumed I was using again and ghosted her. I tried reaching out on social media, through mutual friends. I called her phone 1000 times, but eventually I was just under the assumption that she didn't want me in my son's or her life anymore, and I accepted that this was what I deserved and had spent the last 6 or so years thinking that my son had an awesome father figure and a mother that loved him, and that I didn't fit in the picture. Well, that's not what happened. Around the age of 10, apparently my son started to become very troubled, highly aggressive, had a cruel disposition towards people and animals, would say things, horrible things, about people that were later disproven, and for no real discernible reason other than they told him no or did something that he didn't like. It all came to a head about a year ago. His mom tried so many things to help guide him on a better path. But he continued to punch multiple women in the face, including his mom, who he has put multiple bruises, welts and wounds on. He would destroy his and other people's property, ran away on a near constant basis for reasons unknown to everyone, and put himself in severely dangerous situations during these times. His stepdad has long since been out of their lives because of false allegations that were investigated up, down, and sideways, not sexual, and were disproven. Well, his mom ended up relinquishing custody to CPS last year, when my son was 12, because she didn't know what else to do to help him, and she couldn't afford long-term or more serious treatment for him. Around the time that she did this, he started to say some really out-there things about her, most of which was swiftly disproven, or just plain impossible, like she killed my siblings and buried them in the backyard when he is the only child me or his mom has ever had. Some of it was not so easily disproven, and was investigated by CPS, the police, and for what it's worth, other people that knew them personally. All of it was proven to be false. So after all of this, since CPS had custody, they reached out to me, explained to me the situation, and asked if I would like to be involved. The answer was an overwhelming and absolute yes. So me and my son started talking, and it was amazing, like literally could not have envisioned it being any better. I was finally back in my son's life like I had wanted to be for so long. And I also started to talk to his mom a lot as well. And we've gotten along really, really well. Anyway, fast forward, we've gotten some passes with him where my wife and I would take him to do stuff and just all around had a great time. No issues really. He even met my dad, who has also been clean for 10 years. He came for a 2-day overnight pass to my house, and unfortunately, we had some major issues. He kicked my cat, like hard enough to send him across the room, because my cat pawed at him without claws. This I could understand. It's just aggression, and I knew he had an issue with it. What I did not expect was for him to come sit back down and laugh about it and say that the cat deserved to be kicked across the room. He literally seemed to have enjoyed it. That scared me a lot. We went to some Christmas lights with a large crowd of people with both of my parents, and he got angry at my elderly mom for taking a sneak picture of him. So he proceeded to take control of her electric cart and run her into a crowd of people, some of which were kids, and again laughed about it like he got a sense of joy out of hurting her or other people. He also has kind of an obsession with my wife. I think it's a little crush or something, which obviously he's a kid, it happens. But it's gotten to the point that it's making her uncomfortable because he invades her personal space and tried to do things with her that he has seen me do, like hold her hand or kiss her on the cheek. He doesn't talk to me or my dad all that much, but he's super interested in conversing with her all the time. And when she's not around, he literally, and I timed it, asked the question, "Where's your wife? When will she be back?" Every 5 minutes, like he couldn't get it off of his mind and he couldn't focus on or do anything else. All of this is to say, I feel like he is exhibiting signs of a severe disorder, one that when he's bigger and stronger could get extremely dangerous for not just my pets but for my wife too. The original idea was for me to take him after he got out of treatment because he refuses to go back to his mom's. But he gets out in a month, and I feel like these very problematic behaviors are going to explode in severity once he's comfortable at our house. And because of his history, I just can't help but be scared shitless of thoughts like, what if he lies about me? What if he gains this type of hatred for me that he has towards his mom, all because I ask him to do regular things like go to school or not have brownies for breakfast? He did actually beat his mom because she didn't let him have cookies for breakfast one time, and I worry for my wife. What if this obsession grows and become violent? I would never recover from her being seriously harmed. I worry for my cats. I can't watch him all the time, obviously, and what if they annoy him so much one day he seriously harms them? I love them too, you know. I've done a lot wrong in my life, and I am by no means a victim or getting anything but what I deserve here. But I'm worried for the other innocent people involved in this, like my wife and my dad. I just really feel like I cannot have him live with us. And if he slanders us to officials like he did his mom, I'm going to have to distance myself for my own safety. Like he said really horrible shit about his mom. Again, not necessarily sexual stuff, and it's all but ruined her life. And I feel so bad for her too. I will never get over the remorse that I have for, well, a lot really, but specifically for being so bad off on drugs that she felt like she needed to distance herself from me, or thought that I ghosted her, and in turn making her go through this all alone. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. All the guilt and complicated feelings are just crushing me, and I had to get it out. So if you made it to the end of this long, fucked up story, thank you.